Okay, and welcome back. So we're going to take on the model of the blanket that's on the back of the elephant, and I'm just having a look. Been having a look on this because we don't have a back or a front view. We've got this semi three-quarter view. The actual model itself isn't that complicated, much beyond modelling head and ears and trunk, and the back will be very similar. There is a little lifted leg that we'll probably just push in there as well, so we'll make sure we've got that in. That's actually visible on this side. Not going to be modelling too much on the top. We're going to let some texturing take care of that. So we'll do a bit of a series on unwrapping this object, and then the bottom again is just probably going to be a revolved quarter shape, or we'll count how many there are of these and guesstimate around them, and then we'll just create the profile. Maybe not, I don't know. The whole point of this is for the CGBoost challenge for Moving Castle, which is sort of like, do your take on what the Moving Castle is all about, and I think that this is probably as good as any. So let's dive straight back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually separate this into a couple of parts. So I want to keep the top part because this has got sort of this uneven mirror, but I'm going to use the bottom part, and I'm just going to mirror that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the vertexes here, across here. I'm just going to go with P, and then just do it by selection. So this has given us two parts, which we've got plane and plane 001, and then I can actually delete half of it and mirror. But just before I get started, I'm just going to turn on an option in here to have a random colour. And this is just going to help me just keep in my mind that these are separate objects. And as I add more separate objects, it's a good way of working. Sort of goes down the 3D Studio Max route of how it has different objects have random colours. It just helps you to break it up. Not that I was a big Studio Max user. So there we go. So a bit of garbage talk there from me. So going back in, let's delete half of this. We'll just delete those faces. So we've got half of it. Select this half, and then we'll just apply the modifier on the mirror, and we'll use it across the y-axis. There we go. There we go. So we've got that just set up. That's all in there. Now we can start to add some more geometry. So I'm just going to build this geometry out. So I'm going to build out just this little bit of a lip, and that'll help us take everything forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make sure we've got clipping set on, so that anything that we join in the middle here, that will work. So I'm just going to edit edge mode, and I'm just going to loop that selection. Oops, selecting the wrong edge. There we go. And I'm just going to press E, and then the right mouse click on there, and I'm just going to use the S key to scale. So that's just going to give us that little bit of a lip just to get us started. And then we can start to build out to the side. So we're not going to come much further past this, so we can take these two edges and we can start to move those edges down. So we'll use the G key. I'm not sure we want Modo actually accessing anything. So I'm going to use the G key, and I'm just going to pull that down with the Z. So we're just going to start to bring this shape together, and then I'm going to use just going to pull this out to the side. So we're going to go into vertex edit, use the G key, and I'm going to eyeball this one up. So just bringing this one in, same on this side, G, bring it across, and then let's have a look at this. So we want to grab these two, just bring these down so we can work with them a little bit better. And just bring this in. And I'm just going to bring it in on this line just to make it a little easier for us to see. Just undo that. Don't want to add an extra face in there. Do it again. I want the G key. And then I'm going to lift this one up. And the same here. So it's just making sure we've got this sort of topology line just coming round, So following where it wants to go. Doesn't need to be super accurate. A lot of this will get fixed up. And then this one, I'm just going to use the S key in Z just to bring this down a little bit. And as you can see, what we want to do is bring that down around about here. So I'm just going to use the G key twice and just slide down. So it's going to slide down on the axis of the edge that's next to it. That just helps us a little bit more. And then we'll just use the S key and just bring that in to scale a little bit, just to give it a little bit more scale. So that's that bit done. And we can see as we go around there, we've now got this sort of saddle type shape just coming together. That's looking pretty good. And what we're probably going to do is we're going to be just modelling straight down now. So this bit here we're probably done with. Maybe just move this down a little bit. Again, use the double tap on the G and just slide, just to help keep the actual geometry in shape. That's looking good, and then we can start to build a little bit further. So down to the bottom of this. So we're just going to bring these down. So let's just go into edge mode and take these edges. So I want to go 1 and use control to click between them. So the control just creates this nice ring, and then I can use the E key or I can use control and click and it will do the extrusion for me. I'm just going to do SZ and we're going to do 0. Okay, so just to flatten that out. So that's looking pretty good. I might add a couple of divisions in there, so let's have a look. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the vertex up here a little bit more, pull this vertex up to about here, this one across, and then I'm going to use a little extrusion down here just to create this little extra face for me. So go into edge, oops, do that one, go into 2, edge mode, E, and just bring that out, and then I'm going to use the vertexes here just to bring this down a little bit more. So G, and this one can come out. So we've got our topology, keeping the quad, and this one can come down a little bit, just G, just bring that down. Okay, so that's not looking too bad. And we'll do the same on the other side as well. So let's go to the other side, let's just bring this up and in, and the same thing. And then we can bring this one out and then use G key just to make it go in a little bit further. There we go. That's not looking too bad. There we are. Bring this one in a little bit more. Okay, and what I'm going to do is select that edge and just extrude it out, and then make sure I've got my auto merge on. I'm just going to bring in this edge, just merge this in. So what I want to do is make sure I've got vertex snap on, use the snapping tool, and then using the G key I can snap that straight in. Turn that off now, and just G key, and we're okay, we're all good. There we go. So that'll take it down. We can just bring that across. Same thing on the other side. So selecting this edge and just extrude that out. Using the G key with snap on. Turn the snap off, and then we can just move that in to there. Okay, looking pretty good. So we've got that little bit of an edge. Then we can just pull these out. So go into edge mode. Let's just press E and drag across. That'll make it a little bit easier for us. And then we can actually go in and using the G key, and we want to turn on snapping. Do both sides, it's probably easier. then turn off snap, and we can just go in here. Now what I'm going to do is I've got the loop tools on, and I'm just going to relax those a little bit. And the same with these loop tools, and relax. And that's just going to give me a little bit more spacing between this edge and this edge at the bottom. Bring that up, bring that up. Okay, and looking at this, that actually becomes part of the actual elephant. So we're going to have to add some divisions in here to make this work. So if we were to think that we're going to take a little cut round here, around the back of the ears, we're going to go 1, 2. We can start to build this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a vertex, and I'm going to go Shift D and move the vertex to where I want it to go. So for instance, I'm going to put this one about, let's say we'll put it about here, and then I'm going to press the extrude key, and I'm just going to bring that down. Okay, so this is just giving us another sort of vertex that we can work with. I'm going to bring this vertex to the center, so we're just going to press G and bring this all the way over. Remember, it's mirrored, so it will be welded when it gets there. And then what we can do is we can actually move this vertex in, and we're looking at this sort of shape at the back of the neck. So we're just going to bring in, try and mirror what we've got going on around about here. So if we press E again, we can extrude down, and then go into the side view, and then make sure that this extrusion is with the G key pushed back. So that's going to join this bit and this bit together. We might want to bring this a little bit further down just to make it a little bit more central for us. And then we can start to think about how many divisions we need between here and here. So if we go Control R and slide this up, we can add in another division. So we've got the extra loop cut put in, so this loop cuts in the middle. And then we can take that vertex edge and we can actually extrude with Control and right mouse click, and you can see we start to see where we need to put the extra divisions as we go forward. So the idea is that we will make this bit. So if I put a Control R in here and then use the G key, I can pull that around. Then obviously Control R across the other side, slide up, and then that's giving me the right divisions that I'm going to need. I'm probably going to need some divisions just in here as well. These are going to get quite tight down here, but I'm not going to worry too much about that just yet. So coming down, we can probably get away with quite a lot down here. So we can probably select this, and if we Control and click, we can probably go all the way down to about here. That shouldn't worry us too much, and then maybe around here as well, and that'll give us that last bit. And then I'd probably look to come out to the side, but I'm not going to worry too much. This one's going to be coming down the leg trunk on this side. So then on this side I can go Control R, just slide this one up, and then on this side Control R again and slide up again. Now I've got enough divisions between the two. So it is just a case now, we just need to shape this last bit. So this ear is going to come in. So if we select these here, we can see we're already starting to lose a bit of the shape. So I want to bring G and Y just to bring this across. So we're thinking about the roundness of the sort of the back of the ear as we would have it. So we're going to come over here, and then we're going to come in and under, but it is fairly flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select these vertexes, just going to bring those, if I go from the front view like this, just going to move these across like this, just to give us that extra little bit as we're moving in towards the front. There. So now we can start to combine these together. So let's take this vertex here and press F. So we've got our new face. I'm going to turn on. So what I would advise is turning on face orientation, just so we can see where we've got our faces and how they're in the right vertex normal orientation. Then we can go through this again. Select these vertexes, press F, and we can just work our way through. Sorry, we missed one there. There's actually this vertex here that we need to deal with. So this is the first one, not this one. Press F, and then obviously onto the next. So F again, onto the next, F again. And you can just go down here quite quick, just building this shape up. And there we go. Okay, and again, we're not going to worry about this one because this one's going to come down the leg where the trunk is. So that's given us that point, and as you can see, the next bit can go pretty much straight down. So if we're looking at our reference material, we've got this bit. This is going underneath, so I might move this vertex over a little bit just to give myself a little bit more space as we're going on this direction. And the same for these. So we'll just eyeball these over a little bit more. And then that's just going to give us a natural point where we can actually start to cut in a little bit more there. So with that bit selected, this is going to come down here. So what I need to do is I need to bring this vertex, I need to extrude it down here, and this one also down here. So I'm actually going to put in an extra couple of divisions. There we go, and I'll put an extra division in here. And that just means that I can move these over a little bit, and we could probably have a look at how they would start to come together. So bringing that one in, F, F, F. So if you've ever done any automotive modelling, this is probably a very similar process to what you'd be used to. So yeah, very much similar sort of thing. So just maybe a few little tweaks. Now we can actually see what we've got going on, see where things are. It's not looking too bad. Probably going to have to smooth the top of this out, but we'll have a look at that, which would take us another vertex edge up, which I'm going to try and avoid wherever I can. So that's the first part, and then we'll just do a similar thing for the back, which I'll do sort of off camera just to get us so that we've got the two parts done.